Today we will put to the test which Minecraft client is better, Badlion or Lunar. Both of these clients have some really unique features, but only one of them can be the best client for Bed Wars. If we can reach 500 likes in the first day of this video being uploaded, I will give away 1 month of free Discord Nitro. So be sure to share the video as well as subscribe for more Hypixel content like this one. I'll leave chapters in the video so you can watch whichever part of the video you like. We will be playing with each client for a couple minutes and then grading them on a scale of 1 to 10 in 3 different categories for a grand total of up to 30 points. The 3 categories being how many frames per second we're getting in game, what type of mods the client has, and how many different options you have to choose from, and the third one being the overall cleanliness and organization of the client itself, and how many different customization options are available for you. At the end, we'll tally up each of the points and see which client comes out with more points overall, and will be deemed the best client for Bed Wars. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are with Lunar Client, and I'm actually going to be showing my Minecraft settings at the beginning of this, just so you all know that I haven't changed any settings or anything, so you can see that my FPS will always be the same. We're actually going to get rushed by this guy, so I kind of have to get him out of here. No, you don't, sir. Not today, but just off the bat, it looks like we're getting around 600 to 700 FPS using Lunar Client. Depending where we stand on the map, this could go from a little bit under 600 to a little bit over 700. So we just take this guy out once again. Let's go ahead and get his bed. There we go. And looks like he wants to fight again, so we'll fight him one more time. And we managed to take him out 4 times without dying even once. That's pretty good. Is it Lunar that's making us good? Nah, probably not, but nonetheless, there we go. So if we stand inside our base, right now we're getting right around 600 FPS, give or take a couple. Not today, not today. Not legit, man. It's just Lunar Client. It's just Lunar Client. What does this guy want? What does he want? Let's get him again. Let's get him again. Come on, come on. Oh, we're so close. Oh, I actually blocked. I'm surprised I actually got him that time. Yellow and I seem to just be... Blue is cheating. I'm not, though. It's just Lunar, I swear. Now let's take a little bit closer look into Lunar. If we go into the settings, it opens up this nice menu where you can see there's one settings button and it doesn't get in the way of anything else. So if you want to change a setting really quick while in-game, it's a completely transparent menu that won't get in your way much at all. You can see right here, there's all of these different mods you can turn on. And I don't want to go through and list all of them because that would take way too long. You guys probably can just get a general idea of what they do based on the name of them. But it has an absolute ton of mods that will do various things, such as make the keystrokes you see up here. It can show your frames per second, it can show the server IP, your ping, how much memory Minecraft is using. There's all of these different options you can show. But another thing it has all these performance settings. Since Lunar really likes to give people as much frames per second as possible, that's kind of their main driving point in their client. You can see all of these different options as well, including the performance options like hiding end portals or lazy chunk loading, which is an alternate form of rendering chunks in Minecraft. You can set this so you can render chunks faster or slower based on your computer so you get more frames per second in game. You can also affect entity shadows, so like if you don't want your character to have a shadow or if you don't want the grass to have a shadow or anything at all to have a shadow, you can turn this off to improve your performance as well. And then you can of course set your different controls to open Lunar with different buttons. So if I set this to, let's just say, O, if I press O, now this menu will open, but of course I'm going to keep this as right shift since I like it as right shift since it's never in the way and you don't really ever press it by accident. So now let's go over to Badlion and see what this client has to offer. Alright, and with Badlion we seem to be getting around 550 to 570 frames inside of our island real quick. Oh, I need one more piece of gold. You can also see that the item drops are like 3D on Badlion, which is pretty interesting. I am using their actual, their newest version since Badlion did get a big update recently. They got like their 3.0 release, which is pretty neat. It means we get the most accurate representation of what Badlion is capable of as possible, which is always good. So outside of here, we're getting, it looks like if I stare off into space, 600 to 700, looks like we're just peaking over 700 frames per second if we're doing nothing at all. You can also see just how much different Badlion makes your game feel with like the chat being different and everything to make it know that like you're on Badlion, you know, it's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and let's bridge just a little bit so you can see how that looks. Let's use a different bridging style as well. So we can do this. Let's go try to take at least one bed out this game as well, just like we did in the Lunar Client game. You can also see that Badlion has their own little font. If you take a look at the keystrokes mod, you're able to see they have their own custom font. I don't know where Blue is. I'm just going to go ahead and try to take their bed off. They don't know where I am. It looks like they're just not here at all. Bro, where is this guy? Is he just like gone? Oh, he just like decided to leave the game. That's unfortunate. Alright, we'll get one more good clip of PvP, and then I'll go ahead and cut to the rest of the Badlion part. Let's go up top above him, and now we have to go and take him out really quick. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Let's grab his bed, and we're actually going to bail completely because we have no health right now. So let's go ahead and let's do that. And now it's just a 1v1v1. Now, I didn't record this at the beginning, but Badlion actually asked me for different options of how I wanted this laid out. There was an option to have this square little box on the screen or to have a little menu on the right. I opted for the square box because it was most similar to Lunar. However, I'm going to give it some points for it being able to customize and put it on the right instead of having this big chunky box that blocks your vision inside. You can have a completely really just hidden box that just pops out on the right hand side here, which is nice. And let me just tell you how many mods this client has. It has probably double the mods, if not triple what Lunar actually offers, which is absolutely insane. It does have things like the perspective mod that is somewhere over here. There's the item physics I was talking about earlier, and there's an FOV mod. You can see that the keystrokes, of course, are right here. They look pretty clean, and the FPS as well. It has 1.7 animations, which is always critical for anyone who's been playing on 1.8. Over in the graphics tab, there's all these different graphics on what you can do. You can change. I didn't actually notice a difference when I was using low graphics mode and not. The FPS was basically the exact same with it and without it, so I opted to not use it because I didn't really know what it did. There's some things to disable different tall grass renderings in Minecraft, set the render distance of different players, and there are all these different options for that as well. You can see if you want to use the Badlion chat or the regular Minecraft chat. If you don't like the Badlion one, there's compact mode as well. You can change whether if you want the traditional Badlion font or just the regular Minecraft font as well. Personally, I love the Badlion font. It looks really, really nice, of course. But there are just way more settings than the Lunar has to offer. Now that we have properly tested both clients, it's time to tally up the points and see which one is going to come out on top and why. So first up, we have Lunar. Lunar had a much higher frame per second average than Badlion did. Badlion was actually close to around what vanilla Minecraft was giving me. It was a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and give Lunar a 9 in the category for frames per second. Next up is mods, and I still have Lunar on right now. And Lunar had a good handful of mods, however, it wasn't really as close to as many as Badlion had. So we're going to knock Lunar down a few points for that and give it a 7. And for customizability is where I had the most issues with Lunar. If we take a look at the keystrokes mod, for example, if we go into options, there really isn't a lot of options we can do. We can make it bigger. We can make it bigger. Yeah, there's 2 options to make it bigger. There isn't really a way to give it a border, and that was one of the things I noticed because it wasn't really, it felt like it needed some kind of outline on the edges, and it didn't seem like you were able to do that, but on Badlion you were. And overall, it just doesn't have as many settings and options as Badlion did, so we're going to go ahead and give it a 5 for the customizability category. This will give Lunar a total of 21 out of 30 points. Now let's go to Badlion and see if their score adds up. To tally up Badlion's score, we're going to look at FPS. Now, it was much lower than Lunar's total frames per second. However, there was thing I will give it credit for, and that was its consistency. I never had significant frame drops where I would lose 200 to 300 frames per second, compared to Lunar where sometimes I would get to up to 1200 and then it would drop down to 500 again for no reason at all. Badlion was consistently around 400 to 500, pushing up to 600 sometimes, but depending on where you were, it stayed relatively the same. I'm going to go ahead and give Badlion a 6 in this category as it had a much lower frame rate, but I'm going to still give it a 6 because that frame rate was consistent. For mods, it just has way more mods than Lunar. There are still a few I think they could add, but overall it had way more than Lunar, so we're going to give it an 8 for mods. And for customizability is where Badlion really shines. It has so many different options of what you can do in every single thing. There's multiple bars. The actual graphics settings has a ton. You can mess with the chat. And if you don't like any of the things Badlion has, you can just turn them off because Badlion lets you do that. So for that, I'm going to give Badlion an 8 in customizability, giving it a grand total of 22 points, which is 1 more than Lunar. So what does this mean? Well, the answer seems pretty clear to me. As long as you don't have any issues with frame rate, it's safe to say that you should probably be sticking with Badlion as it has way more options than Lunar. I can still see people using Lunar if you have like a laptop or perhaps a lower end computer and require those high end frame rates, or if you're a YouTuber and you like recording at ridiculously high frame rates, like this one's recorded at ridiculously high frame rate if you couldn't tell. That's why I usually end up using Lunar, but it seems like Badlion is definitely worth giving a try and definitely is going to win the title of the best client for Bedwars. So that just about answers the video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like on the video. If you have any other things to add or things I may have missed, be sure to leave them in the comments and let us know your thoughts on what client is best for Bedwars. You heard my opinion, I want to hear yours. Thank you so much for watching, have a fantastic rest of your day, and take care.